Hey guys, it's Coach Evan Macklin back with some pro tips for you. Today, let's talk about being a freaking master closer versus a salesman. Salesmen, they're pushy, they're aggressive, they're kind of slimy. People don't like to be around them. They're just trying to push their own agenda. And closers, they understand that there's a few things that people don't understand about closing. Most people don't know how to communicate, write that down. Most people don't know how to influence, write that down. And hardly any people know how to close, write that down. So if you want to be a closer, it's going to come down to being different. And I'm going to show you how to do it. But if you want different results, you're going to have to act different, talk different, walk different, speak different. You're going to have to be different than who you currently are. Andy always says, if you're not willing to change, nothing changes. So you think about it today. Am I a salesman or am I actually a closer that Evan Macklin is talking about? Am I that guy? Am I that girl? Am I that person who's magnetic in the close where people are just like, I'd buy anything from this person, okay? So let's jump into it. The way that you're gonna wanna close versus just being a salesman, it comes down to the value that you provide in advance. Value in advance, it's one of the biggest things, it's one of the lost arts in sales. If you provide value to the customer before they buy, let's talk about the different ways you can provide value, but do you provide value in the connection? Do you provide value in the smile, in the fun that you're having with people? All right, guys, so the most powerful tip that you're going to need to become a closer versus a salesman is just creating value in advance. Look, man, Andy Elliott, the way that he created the Elliott Group was he gave away so much free value on YouTube that when he decided to drop a course, thousands of people were running to buy the freaking course. I'm gonna talk to you about, this is a funny example. When Ian and I were kids, we used to sell those little chocolates that you have. And a lot of guys, little kids were going out trying to sell the chocolate. They were knocking on doors. They were getting rejected. Ian and I started thinking, what if we just let somebody taste the chocolate before they buy it? Real simple, right? Like we were geniuses, right? So what we would do is we would knock on the door, little twins would come running up, and we'd open the chocolate. We had a couple that we pre-purchased, and we let them try the chocolate. Now all of a sudden, they're like, dude, I'm in the mood for chocolate. Think about when you're at the mall and somebody walks up with a freaking little sampler, you know? They walk up with the sampler, you taste the orange chicken, all of a sudden, you're like, dude, I'm in the mood for some orange chicken. The real closers understand that the heavy lifting starts before the close even happens. Okay, so let's talk about some ways that you can provide value in advance. The first couple of ways, it starts with your attitude. It starts with your energy. It starts with your smile. It starts with your handshake. It starts by the way you look. It starts by the presentation. It starts by how fired up you are, about how excited you are with your job. Let's make no mistakes about it. If you don't do those things, it doesn't matter what you do. But a lot of people right now, you can provide value in advance to the masses on social media, the content that you're producing. Are you producing content where you're giving clients value in advance? Right? Like, are you producing content that's busting their objections? It's called objection busters. So you're literally posting stuff about cars, about things, about what's going on in the industry that gives them an insight on why they should do business with you. Are you one of the people that's posting just stuff about vehicles, but you're not posting anything about your life, so that way they don't have any affinity, like a love for you? The real reason why people get value in advance is people want to do business with them because they feel like they know them. They feel special around those people. So for me, when I was posting content, number one, I was posting content that I believed would give these people enough value to want to come in and do business with me. When they came in, they would see this crazy magnetic show that me and my brother were putting on social media, and then they would walk in and they would get exactly what they saw online. A lot of people, when they see people online and then they come into your store or something, they don't get the same show. Do they get the show? That's very important, okay? But then also, like, don't make it just about your business. Don't make it just about the transaction. Make it transformational. So posting good content that gives people value in advance before they come in and buy allows you to sell 1 to 5,000 rather than just 1 to 1, okay? Let's talk about some other ways that you can give value in advance. Say you're on a sales call with a client. Could you get off the sales call and send them a video? Could you get off the sales call and send them a couple of articles about how badass the vehicle is that you're looking at, right? If they say that there's an appointment 7 days from now, they're like, I'm gonna come in on next Saturday or next Thursday or whatever. Do you do something called walking the dog? So write this down, walking the dog, value in advance. If I get a sales call that's 3 days out, 7 days out, do I do things leading up until then? So you're like walking the dog. And what happens? You just got to do this. It's like, if the customer's going to buy 5 days out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them a video, a 30-second video that I had one of my media guys, there's plenty of them around, that they produced where it's talking about me. I'm sitting here, I'm like, hey, it's Evan Macklin. Just got off a sales call with you. Just wanted to introduce you to my family. I got my 3 kids here. I produced a video where it's going to show them who I am. Like a little highlight, a little sizzle reel. You guys like sizzle reels. What if you had a sizzle reel and every time you got off the phone, you sent it to somebody and then they knew a little bit about your family? What if you had a sizzle reel that was 3 or 4 days later and it was like a fired up clip around the dealership and got them excited that they were gonna come into an environment that was cool? You gotta walk the dog. You gotta drop little things along the road to the ending when they're coming into your store, right? A lot of people don't do that. They get off the phone call with them. They might send them a link to the website, and then they don't see them for 7 days. Or worse, when the day comes up that the client's supposed to come in, the client doesn't even come in because you didn't do anything leading up until that sale. You didn't do anything that separated you. You didn't do anything that made you look different. I'm giving people value in advance. I'm giving them so much value that when they come in, they feel like they owe me something. I'm giving them value on social media. I'm getting off that sales call. I'm adding them to my Facebook, and they're seeing this person. They're like, oh my gosh, I finally met a pro. So how are you gonna provide some value in advance in your business? How are you going to connect with the clients at a different level and go deeper before they even come in? This is being a closer versus a salesman. When they come in, they're just meeting them for the very first time. They're like, hey, how you doing? It's all awkward and shit. Now they're like, I don't even know you, bro. With me, they've got 3 or 4 videos. They're with me on social media now. They're like, I already know this person. In fact, sometimes when they come in, they're honestly looking at me like a mentor, because I'm posting motivational content, I'm posting stuff. When they come in, they're like, oh my gosh, it's Evan. And I'm like, hell yeah, what's going on? And they're like, I'm like, give me a hug. They're like, man, I already feel like I know you. You've already sent me all kinds of stuff. Like, this is so cool, okay? So my biggest tip for your value in advance, could you create your own little sizzle reels? Could you create a couple of things that you could send out to people? Could you have a couple of articles? Could you have a couple of reviews? Could you have a couple of clients that are talking about how badass it was to buy something from you, and then you're sending it to them on day 5, okay, day 7, day 10, whatever the heck it is? Can you do that? Bam! Now we're a closer. Now when they come in, we've disarmed them. The goal with being a true closer is before we even talk to them, these clients are disarmed. They already feel like I'm their brother, okay? That's the difference between a salesman and a closer. Salesmen, when they get off this video, they're gonna do nothing. They're going to do nothing that I just said to do. They're not going to do it. My closers are gonna go this way. They're gonna go make some content. They're gonna go film some stuff. They're gonna separate themselves on social media. They're going to be pushing themselves to disarm people before they come in. And that's the difference of a closer. So guys, go out there, be a freaking closer. But the heavy lifting, it starts before they even get down there. Don't rely on meeting them and then your charisma and everything overriding it. Do it before they get there, so they're so fired up to see you. They just walk in and they're like, damn, dog, Evan Macklin, I can't wait to buy a car. That's how it happens. Let's go.